Hey guys, myself here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a weekly follow-up of iOS 13.3 developer beta 2 1 week later. Now this is where I talk about the battery, the performance, any additional new features and changes, and bugs. I did come across a few bugs in the software that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now I also talk about my YouTube community poll in these follow-up videos where you guys also have an input, you vote, you express your thoughts. We'll go over all of that here in this video. Now the software came in at approximately 300 megabytes if you were updating from beta 1 to beta 2 on iOS 13.3. And the first thing I do want to talk about is Siri on the latest OS. There's a minor issue with Siri. If you ask Siri to play a particular song, not an artist, but a particular song, it would actually freeze Apple Music on your device, and it would actually freeze the entire music experience on your iPhone. So you would have to quit the music application, quit Siri, and it would actually just freeze the app and the music will just not work. Minor issues here, a minor bug within the Apple Music and Siri integration. So something to note there. Now, one major issue that I've noticed on my end, I do conference calling. So when I went to initiate a conference call, the person that I initially called, the conversation, when I went back to it after adding a third person or a second to third person, when I went back, they couldn't hear me. And this happened multiple times. So if you're having conference calls issues where you called someone and then go back to the previous initial person that you called and they can't hear you, you're not alone. This is something that's happened repeatedly on my end every time I do a conference call. So 2 to 3 people, one conference call, you go back, it will not work properly. They can't hear you. You can't switch back and forth between users. Major issues here. This was very, very annoying, especially over the weekend. I had an emergency. This really bummed me out. So let's go ahead and talk about the YouTube community poll. This is where you guys also have an input. This week's question, of course, how is iOS 13.3 developer and public beta 2 working for you? Now we have approximately 1,900 votes as of right now. A 59% of you guys are having a great experience so far with the software, so that's good. A 27%, however, is having good but still some bugs. I'm in that bracket right there. Of course, I just explained some of the bugs I've encountered myself. And a 14% has a bad experience. This percentage continues to increase over the past few weeks, beta after beta. So it looks like more users are having a bad experience as it increases a 2% every time we have a new YouTube community poll here. So that's something to note. Let's head on over to some of the comments, and it continues to be a trend, the battery performance on the latest iOS 13. This just continues to be the trend. Battery is worse. And as you can see, every single comment has to do with battery. iPhone XR, iPhone XS, iPhone XS Max, iPhone 7. The battery comments continue to flow into these YouTube community posts. Apple really needs to address the battery concerns for multiple users. We're talking iPhone 7 users, iPhone XR, iPhone 11. I mean, multiple users. Now, on my end, I use the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I have to say battery has been average compared to what we've seen previously. Not as good as before, as I mentioned this before, but it is average on this device. Now, connections to Wi-Fi, connections to Bluetooth, to LTE definitely have improved on my end, although I've seen other users complain about these as well. So we'll continue to see Apple develop iOS 13.3 here in the next couple of weeks. Of course, stay tuned for the next beta, which should be expected sometime this upcoming week. If you're watching this on Sunday the 17th, the day that I uploaded the video, we should see the third beta sometime on the week of the 18th here, coming up shortly in the next several days. Hopefully Apple will continue to improve upon the software, and of course I'll have an entire recap once that happens, once the software is released. Thank you for watching. This about brings it into this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.